Hi guys, welcome back to our course on NumPy. In our last lecture, we covered the basics of iteration and today we are gonna continue with this topic. So let's get started. So iteration down to the scalars. So to return the actual values, the scalars, we have to iterate the arrays in each dimension. Now let's see how. So let me just write Python 3, hit enter and import NumPy as NP as usual. So let's have a quick recap. So in our last video, we saw that when we iterate on, so if we iterate on a 1D array, it goes through each element or each scalar element. So it goes through each scalar element one by one. Similarly, when we iterate on a 2D array, it goes through each 1D array element one by one. So because the elements of a 2D array are 1D arrays, so it goes through each 1D array one by one. So similarly, when we iterate on a 3D array, it goes through each 2D array element So it goes through each 2D array element one by one. So we are going to generalize it. So in general, we can say that if we iterate on a or on an n-dimensional or ND array, so if we iterate on an ND array, it will go through n minus 1th dimensions one by one. So this is the generalized result. Now the question is, how to iterate down to the scalars. So how to iterate down to the scalars? How to achieve this thing? So we have a goal and we need to achieve it. So how to do it? So one of the many ways. So see, whenever we have a problem, we have a lot of ways of tackling it. So one of the method that we can use here is using nested loops. So we are going to use nested for loops here. So first example is iterate on each element or each scalar element of a 2D array or a two-dimensional array. So now let's create a 2D array first. So elements of a 2D array are 1D arrays. So I've passed them and hit enter. Array has been created. Now I'm going to write the for loop. So for x in array name or ARR and nested loop for y in. This time we are not going to write in ARR or array name. We are going to write in x. And we are going to write print y. Now we can see that each scalar element of the 2D array has been displayed. So we are successful in iterating down to the down to scalars. Now let's move on to iteration down to scalars in three-dimensional arrays. So similarly, let's iterate down to scalars in a 3D array. So we have to create a 3D array first, and keep in mind that elements of an NDR array are n-1D arrays. So elements of a 3D arrays are 3 minus 1 equals to 2D arrays. So we are going to pass 2D arrays as elements. So you can take any random values. Close the brackets and hit enter. So array has been created. Now we have to write the for loops or nested loops. So for x in array name or ARR, for y in x, and for z in y. And now I have to write print z in place of print y, as we did in 2D arrays. So we can see that each scalar element of 3D array has been displayed. So we are successful in iterating down to scalars in a 3D array. Now I got an assignment for you. So iterate down to scalars in the 4D array that you have created as a part of your previous assignment. So you have to iterate down to scalars in a 4D array. So in today's lecture, we covered how to iterate down to scalars in higher dimensional arrays. That will be all for today. This video is brought to you by Programming Knowledge. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the bell button for updates. And stay tuned with us for next lecture on this series. Thank you.